The NCAA Super Regionals have always been a hotbed of fierce competition and passion. This year was no different. The stakes were high as the Clemson Tigers clashed with the Florida Gators in a game that quickly escalated beyond anyone's expectations. The atmosphere was electric, with fans on the edge of their seats. Little did they know, they were about to witness an explosive series of events that would shock the college baseball community. It began as a typical high-stakes game, but soon, tensions boiled over. What started with a single confrontation between two players erupted into a full-blown brawl. Players and coaches alike were caught in the whirlwind of emotions, leading to multiple ejections that would significantly impact the game's outcome. The events of that day would be remembered not just for the athletic prowess on display, but for the intense and unexpected drama that unfolded. The altercation was not just a display of raw emotion, it was a stark reminder of the pressure these young athletes face. The incident drew national attention, sparking debates about sportsmanship and the role of officials in maintaining order. As we delve into the details of this clash, it becomes clear that this was more than just a game. It was a pivotal moment in NCAA history. In the following sections, we will explore the key events that led to the infamous brawl, the specific ejections, and the aftermath. We will also look at statements from the NCAA and reflect on what this means for the future of college baseball. The initial clash that set everything off occurred between Florida's Jack Caglianone and Clemson's Michael Nawrocki. The tension had been building throughout the game, with both teams playing aggressively. Caglianone, known for his fiery temperament, exchanged heated words with Nawrocki after a particularly contentious play. The situation quickly escalated from verbal jabs to physical confrontation. Caglianone, frustrated after being tagged out, shoved Nawrocki. This push was all it took to ignite the simmering tensions between the two teams. Nawrocki, not one to back down, retaliated, and the two players grappled as their teammates rushed onto the field. The umpires and coaches immediately intervened, trying to separate the players and restore order, but the situation was already spiraling out of control. The benches cleared as players from both teams surged forward to support their teammates. The field became a chaotic scene of pushing, shoving, and shouting. It was clear that this was no ordinary confrontation. Emotions were running high, and the stakes of the game only added fuel to the fire. The umpires struggled to regain control, calling for additional security to help manage the situation. As the dust began to settle, it was evident that the altercation had far-reaching consequences. Both Caglianone and Nawrocki were ejected from the game, but they were not the only ones. The incident had set off a chain reaction that would lead to several more ejections and a significant shift in the game's dynamics. The initial clash between Caglianone and Nawrocki was just the beginning. As players from both teams flooded the field, the situation quickly escalated into a full-scale brawl. The umpires and coaching staff were overwhelmed as they tried to separate the tangled mass of players. The scene was chaotic, with fists flying and tempers flaring. The altercation drew the attention of the entire stadium. Fans watched in disbelief as the two teams clashed in the middle of the field. Security personnel rushed in to help, but it took several minutes to restore order. The umpires, after finally breaking up the fight, huddled together to decide on the necessary disciplinary actions. It was clear that multiple ejections were inevitable. After a lengthy discussion, the umpires announced several ejections. Besides Caglianone and Nawrocki, other key players from both teams were also ejected. The decision was met with boos from the crowd, but the umpires stood firm. The game, already intense, had now reached a boiling point. The ejections had a significant impact on both teams' strategies and morale. In the aftermath of the brawl, both teams were visibly shaken. The coaches tried to rally their players, but the tension was palpable. The rest of the game was played under a cloud of unease, with both teams trying to regain their composure. The impact of the altercation was undeniable, and it left a lasting impression on everyone involved. The repercussions of the bench-clearing brawl extended beyond the immediate game. The NCAA announced it would be reviewing the incident to determine if further disciplinary actions were necessary. The altercation had brought to light the intense pressure and high stakes of college sports, sparking a broader conversation about sportsmanship and player conduct. Section 4. Jack Crichton's ejection. The details unfold. One of the most talked about ejections from the game was that of Clemson's Jack Crichton. Known for his passionate play, Crichton found himself at the center of the chaos. His ejection was a turning point in the game, significantly impacting the Tigers' performance. The events leading up to his ejection were as dramatic as the altercation itself. Crichton had been playing a crucial role for Clemson, but his temper flared during the brawl. According to eyewitnesses, Crichton was seen shoving a Florida player, which caught the attention of the umpires. Despite his teammates' attempts to calm him down, Crichton's frustration boiled over. His actions during the altercation left the umpires with no choice but to eject him from the game. The ejection of Crichton was a major blow to Clemson. He was a key player, and his absence was felt immediately. The Tigers struggled to maintain their momentum without him, and the Florida Gators took advantage of the situation. The incident highlighted the importance of discipline and composure, even in the heat of the moment. In the aftermath of his ejection, Crichton expressed his regret. In a post-game interview, he stated, "I let my emotions get the best of me. I should have handled the situation better. I apologize to my teammates and our fans." His words reflected the remorse and disappointment that many felt after the altercation. The ejection had not only affected the game, but also Crichton's reputation. Crichton's ejection sparked discussions about the pressures faced by college athletes. The incident served as a reminder of the intense scrutiny and expectations placed on these young players. It also underscored the need for better support systems to help athletes manage their emotions and maintain their composure in high-pressure situations. Section 5. Additional ejections. Clemson's coach and assistant. The fallout from the altercation didn't stop with the players. Clemson's head coach and an assistant coach were also ejected from the game, adding another layer of drama to the already intense situation. Their ejections were the result of their attempts to defend their players and argue against the decisions made by the umpires. The head coach, known for his fiery demeanor, was seen on the field vehemently protesting the ejections of his players. His passionate defense turned into a heated argument with the umpires. Despite his arguments, the umpires remained firm in their decision, leading to his ejection. The assistant coach, who tried to intervene and calm the situation, was also ejected for his involvement in the altercation. The ejections of the coaching staff had a significant impact on Clemson's strategy for the remainder of the game. Without their leadership, the team struggled to stay focused and coordinated. The absence of their head coach and assistant was a major disadvantage, and it was clear that the Tigers were feeling the effects. The Gators capitalized on this, further solidifying their lead. The ejections of the coaches drew mixed reactions from fans and analysts. Some praised the umpires for enforcing the rules and maintaining order, while others criticized the decision as too harsh. The incident sparked a broader conversation about the role of coaches in managing team dynamics and maintaining discipline. In the wake of their ejections, both coaches issued statements expressing their frustration and disappointment. The head coach stated, "I was just trying to stand up for my players. Emotions were running high and things got out of hand." The assistant coach added, "We need to do better as leaders to keep our team focused and composed, even in difficult situations." Their statements highlighted the challenges of maintaining discipline and order in high-stakes games. Section 6. Game outcome and NCAA statements. Despite the chaos and multiple ejections, the game continued, though with a markedly different atmosphere. The Florida Gators managed to secure a victory, capitalizing on the disruptions within the Clemson team. The final score reflected not just the athletic prowess of the Gators, but also the impact of the altercation on the Tigers' performance. The game ended with a score of 8-3 in favor of Florida. The aftermath of the game was dominated by discussions about the altercation and its consequences. The NCAA released a statement acknowledging the incident and promising a thorough review. The safety and sportsmanship of our athletes are our top priorities. We will be conducting a full investigation into the events of the Clemson versus Florida game, the statement read. This announcement underscored the seriousness with which the NCAA was treating the incident. The implications of this game extend beyond just the teams involved. The altercation and the resulting ejections have prompted the NCAA to reconsider its policies and enforcement mechanisms. There are calls for stricter penalties and better support systems to help athletes manage stress and emotions during high-pressure games. The incident has also sparked a wider conversation about sportsmanship and the conduct expected of college athletes. Reflecting on the game, it is clear that the events of that day will have a lasting impact on both Clemson and Florida. The Tigers will need to regroup and regain their focus as they prepare for future games, while the Gators will look to build on their victory. For both teams, the lessons learned from this altercation will be crucial as they navigate the remainder of the season. In conclusion, the Clemson versus Florida game will be remembered not just for its outcome, but for the intense drama and emotions that unfolded. The altercation and its aftermath have highlighted the pressures faced by college athletes and the importance of maintaining discipline and composure. As the NCAA continues its review, the hope is that this incident will lead to positive changes and a renewed focus on sportsmanship in college baseball.